The turn of the century represented change for the American people, but for women specifically, the 1900s promised great strides towards gender equality. After achieving suffrage in the 17th Amendment, as well as the introduction of birth control, women across the nation grew confidence in their personal value. Flappers started becoming more and more common, no longer allowing men to control them. However, not all women were as eccentric as flappers. Most just hoped to ban alcohol in the country, believing it would protect them and their families.
They want those sweet, innocent girls to take to booze so they can be enticed into honky-tonks by slick-haired vultures who prey on the flower of American womanhood. I say alcohol must go.
In the decade before the Civil War, many believed that the most dangerous drug in America was alcohol.
Hi, I'm here with Sarah Adams from the Women's Christian Temperance Union. Now tell us, Sarah, why do you think prohibition is so important?
Prohibition is important to me personally because I feel that alcohol has poisoned our religious values. You see, my husband alcohol wastes my husband's time and his money. Instead of coming home after a long day of work, he wastes all of his money at the bar drinking alcohol. And when he comes back, he abuses my children and myself.
Why do you want the 18th Amendment passed so urgently?
I want the 18th Amendment passed right now because alcohol is ruining our country, and we need to go back to our Puritan roots and once again be a city upon a hill.
Lucy, no drinking.
Tell you what, officer. I'll give you the shiny new quarter if we can forget about this.
Okay.
All right. Here you go. Have one on the house.
Ooh. Lucy, no drinking.
Aw, man. Tell you what, officer. I'll give you this shiny new quarter if you can forget about this.
Nah, you're coming with me.
Aw, man.
Women found victory yet again in the form of the 18th Amendment. This amendment of the Constitution established the prohibition of alcoholic beverages nationwide. Passed by Congress on October 28, 1919, prohibition declared it illegal to produce, transport, or sell alcohol. However, not all reactions to the 18th Amendment could be described as victorious. Many felt the new law was unnecessary, as well as a violation to their rights. To cope with the sudden lack of alcohol, people gathered at speakeasies to drink. Prohibition led to the creation of an underground market for alcohol, but perhaps the worst of the unintended consequences the amendment caused was corruption. Even authority figures found themselves breaking the law for a drink.
Rural Protestants and social progressives in the Democratic and Republican parties urged for a dry nation. Organizations like the Anti-Saloon League and the Women Christian Temperance Union fought for prohibition, which was finally granted in 1920 as the 18th Amendment to the Constitution. This made the sale, production, importation, and transportation of alcohol illegal. Congress then passed the Volstead Act, which set rules for enforcing the new amendment, and defined what types of alcoholic beverages were prohibited. Prohibition supporters, or dries, deemed this as a victory for public health and religious morals. However, there was fierce opposition from anti-prohibitionists, or wets, who viewed prohibition as the Protestants' attack on urbanization, immigration, and Catholicism. In addition, it was difficult to enforce prohibition laws due to corrupted policemen and smuggling over the Canadian border by criminals like Al Capone. Prohibition cut over half of the total alcohol consumption in the 1920s, but was ultimately repealed in 1933 by the 21st Amendment. Some say Prohibition led to an increase in urban crime and was one of the causes of the Great Depression, while others simply deem it as a social experiment.
The repeal of the 18th Amendment in 1933 brought with it the end of the nation's dry era, speakeasies, and corrupt relations between gangsters and authority figures.